Okay, so first off, in case if I spoil anything in this video, here's a spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Okay, so with that out of the way, onto the video. Hi there, you guys, Dragon Ball and Cartoon Fan 2004 here. And okay, so after like 5 years or so since the existence of Super Dragon Ball Heroes, we now have another Dragon Ball series on our hands, and this show is called Dragon Ball DAIMA. Yep, it's a new show for Dragon Ball. The trailer of it just dropped today, and this show will be released on 2024 to celebrate the 40-year anniversary of Dragon Ball. It's made by Akira Toriyama himself, and I just saw the trailer of the show maybe like an hour ago. I had already recorded a full video of me talking about Dragon Ball Daima, but I deleted the video off my phone completely before I saved audio from that video onto the UCut app, which is the app that I use to make a lot of my videos now. And yeah. So now I gotta redo the whole video, but it's fine though. There are certain parts of the video where I think I messed up, so yeah, I'm okay to do the video again. So yeah, I thought, since I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball, and since Dragon Ball is on my channel name, I've made a bunch of Dragon Ball videos and all that. I thought, why don't I make a video of me talking about Dragon Ball Daima? How do I feel about the trailer? How do I feel about the show's existence, the idea of the show, yada yada yada. Okay, so first of all, let me ask and answer this question. Do I think it's necessary for them to make another Dragon Ball show? Well, not really, because when you get down to it, there's already a bunch of series for Dragon Ball. I mean, Dragon Ball right now has 6 shows. Yeah, and there's a bunch of other animated series out there that don't even have six shows in their franchise, or even close there. Or even close to that, man. There's already a bunch of shows for Dragon Ball. Like there's Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Z Kai, which is my personal favorite Dragon Ball show, Dragon Ball Super, and Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And now we've got Dragon Ball Daima, the 7th show. 7 shows for a franchise, yeah. That might sound like a bit too much. That might sound like more than enough, I know. And yeah, I don't think it's necessary for the show's existence. But still, as a big Dragon Ball fan, I'm still looking forward to seeing the show when it comes out next year. Yeah, it's cool that they're giving us more Dragon Ball content to keep up with and have us look forward to seeing. Even though, yeah, they could probably just make it like a different anime series that's like Dragon Ball that might not be as good as Dragon Ball, but still that's like Dragon Ball that still has a lot of the same feels as Dragon Ball. And yeah, they could probably do that instead of just milking Dragon Ball out like this, but. So, I did see the trailer earlier, and I thought it was a cool trailer. I thought it was cool how they were going over the years of Dragon Ball with like Goku's childhood and the events of Z, the events of GT, and all that. I thought that was cool. And I also thought the animation style for this trailer looked really good too. And hopefully the animation style for the show will remain consistent, because if you guys remember what the animation style was like on Super. Oh man, yeah, the animation style of Dragon Ball Super, in my opinion, it's like, yeah, it's not bad, like it's not awful, but I find it pretty inconsistent. Like there's times where the animation style looks really nice, like a 2010s animated show should look like, but then there's other times where the animation's like lazier, it looks ugly, and there's times where the animation looks bad and off, like when Goku fights Beerus on Supreme Kai's planet early in the show, and it's pretty inconsistent. There's still times where the animation looks really nice and pretty, but then there's other times where it looks off, like, looks lazy, the animation's goofing up, looks cartoonier and stuff. Yeah. So hopefully they can keep the animation style of the show consistent. But yeah, the animation style of the trailer, I thought looked really nice. Honestly, the trailer probably felt more like a trailer for a movie rather than a TV show, because of how theatrical it feels, like, with the music and, the editing. And it definitely feels more like it pretty much feels more like a movie trailer rather than a TV show trailer. But still, Cinemax, I think Cinemax trailers are cool, whether they'd be for like TV shows or movies or video games or whatever. I do like Cinemax stuff. I do think that works well for trailers in general, even if it's not a movie. But what did they show in the trailer? First of all, let me start off by saying that when I looked at the thumbnail of this trailer earlier, I thought that it was Goten in the thumbnail of the trailer, on the YouTube thumbnail of the trailer. But no, I was wrong. It's just Goku transformed into a kid again, like what happened to him on Dragon Ball GT. Because you guys remember how after Z's ending and in Dragon Ball GT, they have Goku transform back into a little kid by the Pilaf game using the Dragon Balls. Yeah, they're having Goku and Vegeta turn back into kids. They're doing that plot point again, but have Vegeta join Goku in on that. Have Vegeta join Goku in the picture. Oh, and Bulma's transformed into a kid too. And yeah, that's that idea they did in Dragon Ball GT. That's part of why a lot of people hate GT, because they think the idea of having Goku turn back into a kid, because after seeing him grow up from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, is dumb. Even though like people argue that GT isn't canon, it's like, why are they? Yeah, but yeah, that doesn't sound like a very necessary idea for the Dragon Ball franchise, especially since like, oh my gosh, they got a bunch of backlash in GT. Like it's kind of funny that they're doing this again, despite the amount of hate, despite the amount of like hate they got for doing this idea in Dragon Ball GT. That after all, the GT's hatred is part of why it's shorter than it was originally intended to be. Yeah, but how do I feel about them doing the idea of Goku and Vegeta turning back, like being turned back into kids? Well, I definitely don't think it's a great idea. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a great idea for them to do the whole turn back into a kid thing twice, like what they did in Dragon Ball GT. But still, I think they could make this work. I think they could. I think they could make this work by giving us some funny dialogue between Goku and Vegeta, and have it make sense. Like have there be like a logical, not too much of an out character reason as to why they got transformed into kids. And yeah, I think they could make this work. I think they could make this work, but I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna keep my hopes up too much. And yeah, I can't believe I can't believe they're going back to doing the whole turn the main protagonist into a kid thing all over again like they did in GT. But hopefully they can make it work. Hopefully they'll do it good here. I mean, I guess it is cool seeing Goku and Vegeta interact with each other as kids, especially since that in Dragon Ball they never meet each other until they're adults in Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, they never met each other in the original Dragon Ball. Heck, Vegeta's not even in the original Dragon Ball at all. Like same with Gohan, Goten, Trunks, all these other characters who we'd later see in Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, because I do find it interesting to see Goku and Vegeta interact with each other as little kids, even though this isn't definitely not the first time they've done this in the franchise. But I still think it's pretty cool since they never realistically canon wise they never met each other as kids. Yeah, they didn't meet each other until Dragon Ball Z during the Saiyan saga when like Goku showed up to the battlefield to fight Nappa, and then he later fights Vegeta and goes somewhere else to do that. Yeah. That's why I do find it pretty interesting to see Goku and Vegeta interact with each other as kids here. It's also because Goku and Vegeta have always been my two favorite characters in Dragon Ball. So yeah, I'm sure they could probably deliver some funny interactions of Goku and Vegeta as little kids in this new show. But yeah, so overall, how do I feel about Dragon Ball Daima? Well, I'm pretty sure I'm maybe at least like 90% sure that it won't end up being the best series in Dragon Ball. I'm sure Kai will still end up being receiving that title as my favorite Dragon Ball show. But still, I'm not that mad about it. I mean, I'm not crazy excited to see it, even though I am looking forward to it. And I do plan on seeing it because of how big of a Dragon Ball fan I am. I'm not too mad. I'm not too mad about it either. I'm looking forward to seeing it because it's Dragon Ball, and it will be nice to keep up with some new Dragon Ball content. But I'm not too excited about it. I'm not crazy hyped for it. I'm not as excited about it as let's say the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie that came out last year. But still, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll execute the idea of Goku and Vegeta being transformed to kids. See the cool fight scenes, see how they'll interact with other characters, see what new villains they'll bring to the table, see what to do with old characters and all that. I'm still looking forward to seeing it, but I'm not crazy hyped for it. I'll give it a watch. I'm interested to know when it comes out in 2024. I'm sure we'll get more information on when it comes out in 2024. And yeah, that's just my opinion on Dragon Ball Daima. It's not a show I'm crazy excited to see, but as a Dragon Ball fan, I am looking forward to seeing it. I am looking forward to seeing how they'll continue the franchise. I'm always interested to know what they're doing with the Dragon Ball shows and movies. But yeah, that's just my opinion, guys. How do you guys feel about Dragon Ball Daima? If you've seen the trailer, what do you think of the trailer? Do you think the show looks like a big cash grab? Just a big nostalgia fest? Do you think it needs to exist? Do you think it shouldn't exist? What do you think of my opinion on it? Questions like those, you can answer those in the comment section down below if you want. And with all this being said, that's all for this video, you guys. Bye, and thanks for watching the video.